Gets it right.
Who are these bandits?
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
Good evening and welcome to the program The Desk on Global Television. It's time for us to look at current affair issues from the global perspective at the national level and also sub-national levels, as we give you very balanced analysis of all talking points and areas. And the talking point you've not seen anywhere else is what we're going to be bringing to you on today's edition of the program, The Desk, as we look at issues concerning the East African country of Kenya, where the deputy president faces impeachment over corruption. We'll be looking at how key it is that Kenya's parliament was set to vote Tuesday on impeaching the deputy president, Rigathi, and what that would mean for the country that has been embroiled in different forms of political chaos. Not long ago, it was a hashtag William Ruto must resign, talking about the president of Kenya. Now it's the deputy. We'll be looking at what that would mean for the East African country that is being regarded as one of the most stable democracies in the East African bloc. All right, from there, we'll be moving to other very interesting talking points still on the global scene. We'll be looking at issues concerning Nigeria, where the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hezbollah intensifies. Nigerians in Lebanon have differed, to say the least, with the federal government on the claim that about 500 of them have registered for evacuation. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Eche Abu Obe, in a statement at the weekend said no fewer than 500 Nigerians had registered with the Nigerian embassy in Beirut, the Lebanese capital, for evacuation out of the country. But Aigbo Biosa noted that the 500 Nigerians the ministry was referring to were not those who had registered for evacuation, but those who had been officially profiled by the Nigerian embassy in Lebanon for documentation only. Due to the worsening state of conflict, the federal government last Tuesday asked Nigerians in Lebanon to reach out to the Nigerian mission for documentation in a bid to leave the country. So we'll be looking at who is fooling who and what is the true state of things in Lebanon. We'll be looking at that very interesting talking point on today's edition. And not forgetting the also very interesting talking point, the NCC is in the news this evening, talking about the Nigerian Communications Commission, as the commission has announced plans to take enforcement measures against Elon Musk's satellite internet service Starlink for raising its subscription prices in Nigeria without the regulators' approval. So we'll be saying that's a good news, a good step by the NCC, unlike what we see when it has to do with DSTV raising its tariff. So that's a very interesting talking point we also will be looking at on today's edition. Then the focus coming back has to do with the tussle, talking about the APC chairmanship tussle, where the chieftain APC chieftains have given Ganduje 7 days ultimatum to resign. That's a very interesting talking point. A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Sali Zaga, has formally written to the national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje, asking him to resign. So we'll be looking at what that would entail in the coming days and weeks. Then fast forward, we'll be taking you to Rivers State, where all attention is as regards Fubara's camp rejecting the emergency rule amidst the mayhem in that state. All right, as usual, we get the finest minds in the African continent to help us look at these issues in a very balanced and in-depth perspective. And then one man who has the task of doing that for us today is no other person but the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, that has been great things for Nigeria's democracy. He's not a person but Yusuf Dantali will be joining us in the live studios in a couple of minutes so that we can look at everything in a holistic level. That will be after this quick break. Stay with us. Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Mamadou on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians.
Can we not say both of them?
Because
That this country gets it right.
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
All right, welcome back from the break. You're still watching the Desk on Global Television. I'm so excited because I've got the chairman of IPAC in the live studio. He's not that person, but Yusuf Dantali, who will be helping us look at this very interesting talking point. It's a pleasure having you in the live studios.
Thank you. Good evening, Tony.
All right, let's just begin from the global scene as is traditional here. Kenya's vice president is facing corruption charges, and impeachment is being touted as what is following next. Let's look at Kenya quickly. There was first the protest because of the tax laws that didn't favor them. Then after the protest, they wanted the president to resign. He didn't, and now the vice president has been, charged with corruption issues. What do you think is happening to Kenya, one of the most stable economies and democracy in East Africa?
Thank you. Recently, we are all aware of the protest in Kenya, and that protest indicates that something is wrong with the political, maybe economic arrangement. And then definitely you should expect a reaction to that, because even the president himself came out to apologize to Kenyans.
Sure.
So maybe I think this should be seen as a fallout of that protest, and it's purely within the purview of Kenyans to take decision on what happens, because I don't know much about the antecedents of the vice president. But at least what is important is that there was a protest. This is happening now, so this should be one of the avenues of putting things right.
But is it always fair that African leaders always have this issue of corruption being associated with them?
Corruption is a global thing. Everywhere, there's corruption everywhere in the world, just that it's more pronounced in one. Under which country is not corrupt in the world? Everywhere is corrupt. America is corrupt. UK is corrupt. Where do we warehouse most of the process of corruption? In Africa is the same. So it's a vicious circle. It's a mutual thing.
All right, let's move on. Let's quickly go to Lebanon, where recently we had the federal government urge Nigerians to, try to, go to the embassy and do have documentation done so that they can be evacuated back to the country. But some Nigerians spokesperson is saying those documentation was for people that were already provided to return back and not Nigerians that really want to come back to the country. Does it beat your imagination that Nigerians still would rather stay in Beirut, where there's likely going to be, war going on already between Israel than return back home to the country?
You see, when people leave, you don't know the premise which they left the country. So it should be that is their last hope. Let me go and look for, in search of greener pastures. Yeah. It's either I get it or I don't return. If I don't get it, I will not come back. What am I coming back to do? Okay, maybe the situation was worse before they left. Some persons, in the process of going out of the country, some even died in the process. So they took a lot of risk. So I think it is a protest against our economic situation in Nigeria. That is what it indicates for me. So what it means is that it is a call on African leaders, on Nigerian leaders, to do what we can within what God has given us constitutionally to see that we make the socio-economic environment better for Nigerians. Well, if you come back, okay, where is the employment? What are you coming to do? Okay, look at where are the industries? What will you do? So I think it's a protest. It is not something that we should waive anyhow. It's something, it's a call for us to see why would a Nigerian, despite the threat of war, okay, at the risk of his losing his life or losing his life, still want to remain there, then it is really a bad one. But I know and I believe that gradually we'll get it right.
All right, let's move on to the next talking point. We've got APC chairmanship also is on the talking point this evening as the chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Alhaji Sali Zakzaga, has formally written to the national chairman of the party, Abdullahi Ganduje, asking him to resign within 7 days. Zakzaga, who is the chairman of the North Central APC Forum and also served as a member stakeholder relations to Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, addressed the newsmen in Jos. He explained that the letter explicitly outlined the reason for asking Ganduje to resign and that 7 days ultimatum is what is given. Are you, as the chairman of IPAC, when these things play out, do you think this is a signal to where it is all a game plan or politics, politicking?
Why I have to laugh, it is a normal part of the game. Recently, I was discussing with a political leader, and I told him I see threats. People are ganging up to. He said, "Even you, people are ganging up to remove you." so it is normal. This is not the first time. A few months ago, some people came. They went to court. They said that the court has removed him. So they declared themselves. They say they are APC Ganduje's one. They have removed him. That one came and passed. So definitely, the way it is, while you are, even you, somebody is eyeing your position. This is your seat. Somebody is plotting to remove you. Could be this our friend? Yeah, you can't. So you can't say. Yes. So, but the party has a constitution. The party have leadership that will look at it. So it is not enough for one man to come and say resign when the party have a structure, when the party have leadership. So it is within the purview of the leadership of the party to sit and look at it.
But when he says, I give you 7 days, don't you think the party's internal, the mechanism within the party is also...
You said one man, okay, who is root, not the NWC, not the NEC. So, and I don't think the constitution of any party give any human being or any member of the party the powers to write and ask the national chairman of his party to resign, not even local government chairman.
Don't you think the parties should be able to sanction such actions in order to curtail such excesses?
Definitely, the disciplinary arm of the party will look into that. It will definitely, but they won't bring that one for me and you, but they will do it.
For some people, they believe this man has been bought over or is being instigated by someone. How true can that be in the realm of
politics? In politics, everything is possible. Everything is possible. Even you can be paid to interview, to ask me some particular question.
All right,
so you should expect anything in politics.
All right, let's move on to one of the most talking points in Nigeria now, which has to do with the Rivers crisis, because the crisis in Rivers has snowballed into violence. By Monday, we saw the burning of almost 4 different local governments. Who do we hold responsible? Some have said the federal government has not done well enough, because it's obvious the former governor of the state and present FCT minister, Nelson Wike, is embroiled with a bitter, feud with the incumbent governor of the state, and that's what is playing out.
Thank you. We need to blame our system. It is the structure. It is how the system is structured. The system is structured to strengthen individuals against the institution. If institutions are stronger, the institution will be able to curb excesses of individuals. But where you have a situation that the individual dictates what happens in the larger organization, who pays the piper? He will eventually dictate the tune of the music. In the past, or in other advanced democracies, the party is stronger than even the president. It's happening in China. In the previous Nigerian democracy, during Adisa Akinloye as chairman of NPN, was stronger than the president of Shehu Shagari then. But today, for reasons best known to people, maybe for personal reasons, or the powers of the political parties have been taken away by elected officials. How? First, political parties were funded, by the government. But today, that one is history. Individual in the party will have to find a way to fund their political party. And in our own system, politics is seen as business. So how many farmers, how many taxi drivers would bring out their hand-earned money? It only happened during Buhari. Would bring out their hand-earned money, and they didn't give that money to APC. They meetings. People expect to be paid to attend campaign. People expect to be paid to debate. People expect to be paid to contribute ideas to the development of a political party. Common 500, 1,000 naira. It is difficult for anybody to pay as contribution or as due or membership dues to a political party, because the person believes they are doing their business, which is almost what it looks like. Why should I go and give my money to people that already have money? You understand? So now the injury is that the people, those who have the financial muscle to drive the party, now determines who becomes what in the party.
Even if the monies are taken from government coffers.
Thank you. You understand? That is one. Secondly, we have something called State Independent Electoral Commission. Yes, even though it is the making of the Constitution, the people who thought of that thing, who brought that thing, I think it has to do with personal interest.
Why do you say so?
Thank you very much. You say INEC is there. INEC conduct election to every nook and cranny of the country.
True.
Presidential election, senatorial election, House of Assembly, the same ward, the same voters register, the same PVCs, the same constituency that has been delimited, the same ballot
papers
is what is used in conducting the election. Tell me which of the election that you don't go to the ward. So why would you separate local government? Why? For what reason? Recently, INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, in the National Assembly, he said categorically, clearly, that yes, INEC have the capacity to conduct this election. The same, now the State Independent Electoral Commission, the PVC you still get to INEC. In Rivers State, there was a court order that don't give voters register. So, you understand? So if it is INEC, would you tell INEC not to deny itself the voters register? The answer is no.
True.
You understand? So tell me, what are the basic ingredients for the conduct of election that is owned by State Independent Electoral Commission? The answer is nothing apart from the state chairman of the CX and then all other staff and the building. There's nothing that is meant for the conduct of election that belongs to them. So why? And then here, there was a judgment. I thanks to the president, through the Attorney General of the Federation,
yes,
that went to seek the interpretation of the law, where the financial autonomy was granted
to the local government.
To the local government. But that in itself is not enough. But it's a good step in the right direction. But for the local government to be autonomous, and that is the only time we can say, okay, we have democracy in Nigeria. Because you cannot have democracy only as the state, at the national level, and then the government that is closest to the people. Democracy is absent. What are you doing? How can you have a building without foundation? Will it stand? Definitely. The answer is no.
True.
So we need to clean the system. We need to go back to the drawing board. Yes, IPAC recently, in our engagement with the National Assembly Joint Committee on the Electoral Act Amendment and the Constitution, we made this proposal. And we pray it sees the light of the day.
Would this see it when the politicians themselves might feel that proposal does not favor, give them that latitude to...
Yes. Today you benefit from it. But tomorrow it will affect you. Okay, fine. You say it doesn't. Wike was the governor yesterday. Am I correct?
Yes.
So he had the power to put whoever he wants there as the chairman, as the councillor. But does he have the power today to do it? He couldn't do it. Am I correct? He had people he wanted, but he couldn't do it. Because the State Independent Electoral Commission, the powers to do what is needed to be done there is no longer with him. So now, if you benefited from it yesterday, you can benefit from it today.
All right.
So that's what it means. We should be able to make laws that will see the light, will cut across generations, not just what will benefit you today and tomorrow you won't.
All right. We're looking at before this we delve into the crisis of the aftermath of the elections. Before the elections, IPAC did hold a very strategic press conference where it showed support for and insisted that the elections in Rivers hold. In some quarters, it was rumored that IPAC was engineered to carry out that conference. Well, that's why you're here to clarify that issue.
You should be able to say by who.
That's the rumors going around. Tell us why IPAC took that stand, and there was strong accusations against the judiciary for truncating 1993 elections and giving conflicting rulings.
Before you say some of these things, you should understand the mandate of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, and every member of political party belongs to IPAC.
But the big parties were not there at that meeting.
The APC was there. The PDP representative is out of the country. And IPAC have a code of conduct. It is not about which party is there and which party was not there.
Okay.
What our code of conduct, if we have 50% plus one, we have a quorum to take decision.
Which is binding.
Which is binding on all the members. Every party signed to it. So it's not about who is present in a meeting or who is not present in a meeting. All political parties contested in the election and everybody want to win. So in the election result that was declared in Rivers, about 4, 5, 6 political parties won. Am I correct? So and those parties Are they APC? Are they PDP? Are they APP? They are not. So different political parties want the same thing in other places. We are only saying the situation should be better. So that is the mandate of the IPAC. We must do deepen democracy within the confines of the constitutional provisions, okay, where it is necessary. It is not only in Rivers. We have done in other places. What in Anambra that the state assembly was used to suffocate or to usurp the powers of the leadership of political parties. We came out against it. In Katsina, in Kano, and other states that outrageous nomination fee was imposed on aspirants for councillorship and chairmanship position. We kicked against it. So why would anybody come out and say we were influenced by who? IPAC doesn't belong to anybody, and IPAC doesn't work for anybody.
Okay, let's look at in terms of the conflicting rulings. How key is it for the judiciary, like IPAC had insisted, for judiciary to try to clean the mess and ensure that they support and just democracy rather than truncate it?
A few months ago, IPAC had its first roundtable at Intercontinental here. I don't know if you were aware or if you were there, and then it was purely on the role of judiciary in the development of democracy in Nigeria and the role of some judges, not all.
Okay.
So some judges is worrisome, okay, where you have court of competent jurisdiction giving orders and counter orders, okay, to benefit peculiar interests, maybe for financial inducement, I cannot say, but we call on the judiciary. We did not, IPAC didn't say it. We brought members of the bar, members of the bench, other stakeholders, okay, civil society organization, to come and look at the role of our judiciary, x-ray it, and then come up with a position, okay, that we present and which we did. It is, you see, judiciary is supposed to be the last hope, okay, of the aggrieved, okay. And then if the judiciary is found wanting, not doing, what that means is that you are establishing, you are creating a conducive environment for anarchy, because people will now begin to seek self-help, which is not what we. This democracy is 25 years in 2024, and the worst military administration cannot be compared to democratic administration. So we wouldn't want anything that will happen to this democracy. So we, and as it is, we have a new Chief Justice of the Federation, which everybody, I never had a personal interface with her, but from all that we hear about her, she's a no-nonsense person, she is upright, and then with the inaugural warning given to members of the bench that you have to purge yourself and you must stop this frivolous, and even the president came out yesterday. The president, President Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, also said that the judiciary, what is coming out of the judiciary is worrisome. That the judiciary should sit up and purge itself of some of this anomalies. So we believe that with this fusion, okay, things will begin to get better. But as it is today, it is embarrassing, it is worrisome, and we will not want anything to happen to democracy.
All right, let's look at, still looking at Rivers, what played out before the elections proper, before getting to the aftermath. We saw the Nigerian police force withdraw its personnel. How does IPAC perceive the Nigerian police force? Was that a right way to go?
It's a wrong thing they did. Apart from election, the Nigerian police is constitutionally empowered to protect lives and property. So election, no election. For us, Nigerian police is not supposed to turn their back on whatever happened, even if the police is being called names. It is expected that they stand for the people, they stand to protect lives and property. Because if the situation degenerates, it's the same police force that will be called upon to Sincerely, what the police did is not.
But is ADPAC surprised that there's been no sanction or word from the presidency as regards that action by the Nigerian police force?
There are a lot of calls are ongoing, okay? And what what we do is to advise. We don't have the powers to sanction.
True.
So we advise, and that advice will not be on air.
All right, let's look at the aftermath of the elections. The governor had warned after swearing in the new local government chairman. He warned that there was going to be an attack. And fast forward after the swearing in, that's what we saw. And we've got Edison Ehi, who is the chief of staff to the governor's brother, was killed.
What?
Yes, talking about Edison Ehi. His brother, yes. And this has led to the call for state of emergency, which the government is rejecting. Do you think that's another ploy to further take hold?
Why would anybody call for state of emergency? For what? To achieve what? It's unfortunate. May God, may the soul of the deceased, may God grant his soul eternal rest. It is very unfortunate. Let me start from you here. You are in charge of this place. If because you are no longer in favor of the powers of this place and you start throwing stone on this building or stopping people from coming here, do you love this institution to move forward?
No.
That's no love. Because you can still come back here. If what you are doing, so you cannot say you love the people of Rivers, and what you do is to destroy the commonwealth of people of Rivers. It is wrong. It is madness. It is greediness. It is undemocratic. It's unethical. Why are we looking for power in the first place? Whether you like it or you don't like it. If you don't leave the power, it will leave you. We have seen presidents who have died on throne. We have seen governors who have died on throne. We have ministers who have died on throne. We have seen members of National Assembly who have died while in power. So whatever we are doing, we should look at. There is always, after the judgment of man, there is judgment of our God, or posterity is there. History will remember you for what position, whatever position you take. You can, from my own background as a Muslim, power belongs to God. He gives whoever he wants. And God will not give somebody power without protecting the person. But I like what the president did yesterday. The president said, Fubara, don't allow the generation, okay, of the peace. Ensure you take, you maintain, you ensure the security, okay, of Rivers. That statement, for me, is an endorsement.
But how come the president didn't make those kind of important statements before the elections, and all this while that Nyesom Wike has been in battle with Fubara? Don't you think if he had stepped in earlier or more often,
there was a time we had meetings being called by the president, intervene. There's a limit to what you can do. Politics is local. But what I am saying here is that by calling on the governor, some other persons might see that why is he calling on the governor alone? Yeah. Why didn't he call?
Because the governor made that statement that he mentioned only his name in that statement.
I think the governor shouldn't have. What that thing did was, you are the chief security officer of the state. You can only have one governor, who is you. So what the president he has given him more powers to exercise and take control of the security of the state. So if there are issues or there are challenges, it's now left for the governor to, Mr. President, you have given me directive. This is why I have challenges.
Okay.
Are you getting me? This is why I have challenges. Whether he knows, he doesn't know, you are now telling him Because he can't hold two people responsible if there's breakdown of law and order. If he does, it means he has taken away the powers of the governor. Do you understand?
Okay.
So what that means is he has endorsed the powers
of Sim Fubara.
Sim Fubara. He has endorsed the election that was conducted.
Okay.
Because he said the aggrieved parties should explore judicial means.
You remember a few minutes ago you said anything is possible in politics.
No, excuse me.
Yeah.
And he also directed the Inspector General of Police that go and protect lives and properties in Rivers State. That was the directive. So for me, it was an endorsement.
Some have said Mr. President is very strategic and a very shrewd politician.
Every politician is strategic.
We saw him had that similar issue with the Lagos then governor. Just, pardon me, his name is skipping my head right now. Where he, in the public, he came out and endorsed him. But at the end, the governor still didn't come back the second time. Like
he's not negotiable. He's not as much as the leader. The people are still there to vote.
But don't you think the fact that the president has said aggrieved parties go to court, that's also, some say that's a very tricky one, because going to court means if Fubara gets to the court or the aggrieved party gets to the court and the court does what we've seen they have done in some instances.
The world is watching. Nigerians are watching.
But even the courts have also taken decisions even when the world was watching. Do you think there's
the courts have taken decisions and counter decisions?
Yes.
And the matters are still ongoing. But the courts too now know that they are being watched and records are being compiled about their activities by Nigerians. You might have, there are people who are governors today, yesterday, they are not governors today. People who are president today will not be president tomorrow. Those who were president, is Buhari the president of Nigeria today? Is Abu Salam the president of Nigeria today? You understand? So there's always an end to everything. So whatever you do today, history is waiting for you where you least expect. So whatever, at least what the president has done, his statement should be taken. Let's take the statement. For me, I take that statement as an endorsement, okay, and then it's prompt.
All right. Do you think this also is going to be, from what your perspective, looking in from your perspective, is this going to be a big blow to Nyesom Wike? The fact that the president made those statements, would that make him decide to shoot his sword?
What do you mean by a big blow?
Like the fact that it looks like now the president has, like you said, endorsed Fubara, so meaning that he should be more careful and withdraw his continuous,
the position of Wike and Governor Fubara is not the same. Wike is an appointee of the president that can be hired and fired by the president. He was the governor of
Rivers State.
Whatever the relationship, between Wike and Fubara is immaterial. But the law recognizes that Fubara was elected, by the people of Rivers. So, by that, he is in charge of, he's the chief security officer of Rivers State, recognized by law and the president of Nigeria.
Where does that leave Wike currently with how things have begun to play out? First of all, the success of the chairman now from the APP and not from his own political party. Where does this leave Wike? Some have said this has left him in the land of nowhere.
It is only God that determines the certainty of what happens in politics. Fubara has ever come out to insult Wike one day. Even yesterday when he said my boss, he said my Oga. You understand? So there is always provision for reconciliation. Everything is possible in politics. There are people, when Buhari came in 1983, there are people he sent to prison, but they work together in the last administration. You understand? There are people who are not supposed to be together in this administration,
But if you look at it, they are together. One is appointee of the other. One is, you understand? So it is like that. So what is possible? It's only God that knows what is possible in politics. No one can determine. But we will continue to act, okay, within what is possible and what is allowed for us by God.
All right, let's looking at the violence now. Do you think how best do you think Fubara can achieve a peaceful Rivers now? The fact that, yes, the president has endorsed him and given directives to the Nigerian police force. Do you think it's going to be easy for him to get peace across Rivers, especially with the attack on the local government chairman? Do you think...
yes, it happened only yesterday. We have not heard of anything in Rivers today. The situation is coming down, okay, and then there are elders in Rivers. Rivers are producer, leaders. They have people, okay, eminent personalities who will not allow. And you all know that crisis in Rivers will affect the economy of this country because Rivers, I would say, is the golden chicken, the chicken that lays the golden egg in Nigeria. We all know the strategic position Rivers occupy to the economy of Nigeria. So I don't think any Nigerian, okay, will allow crisis in Rivers to degenerate to the point that it will affect the entire Nigerian economy. No, they won't. It will control.
Okay.
Control.
Okay, for the political parties now, what will be your watchword to them, especially with all the lessons we've learned from this Rivers episode and how it is wrapping up already now, especially going forward, because all eyes seem to be on 2027 going forward, and 2027 not so far away from us.
This country confess before anybody. This country confess before any political party. This country confess before any political office. Whatever we do, we have to look at Nigeria first before taking any decision. How will my action make Nigeria better? How will it destroy Nigeria? We must. Nigerians have endured enough. Nigerians are going through pains, economically, politically, insecurity, survival. Nigerians are going through a lot. So, and it is the political class that have the powers today to make life better. Whatever you do you have us wherever you think you can go and live with your family? Check yourself. Are you fair to Nigeria? Nigeria has been fair to you to give you that thing for you to get to where you are. But have you given Nigerian enough within yourself? You don't need anybody to tell you if you are doing what is right or not. So that we don't get to a point where you will have the money, but it will mean nothing to you. Because the first thing you need is peace. We have seen revolts recently in form of protest. What that revolt is saying in us is a lot of things are wrong with the socio-economic and political arrangement. You keep on killing armed robbers, you keep on killing bandits, you keep on killing kidnappers, more are coming. You keep on arresting Yahoo boys, they keep on coming to the point that children now even use their parents, okay, for rituals. So that, for us as a student of sociology, it only indicates that so many things are wrong with the socio-economic and political arrangement. Where are the industries that were employed? Do we have the enabling environment for industry to strive? I was going to Kaduna by road over the weekend. 3-4 trailers. Kaduna is not supposed to be more than 2, but it took up to 6 hours to get to Kaduna because trailers fell on the road. Not because, and these people are people doing legitimate business. Those selling Indomie, those selling flowers, those selling biscuits, because we do not have the road. So we need to begin to. And we will continue to advise that the presidents, the powers, should declare amnesty on corruption.
What do you mean when you say that?
Thank you. Nigerians have stolen. I was watching one video this morning, a statement by the former Vice President, Osinbajo, where he said $3 billion. And you know what that means? You know how many universities that will produce? You know how many roads? You know how many hospitals? You know how many industries? How it will, by extension, transform the life. It will reduce or take away potential armed robbers, potential kidnappers from the deal. That just walked away. During the when the Mataba, the current Emir of Sunusi, was the CBN governor, he talked about how $20 billion walked away, developed it, and walked away from CBN. Nobody has been proved. Nothing happened. You understand? Are we helping? What do we really need? Why are we seeking for power? Every election we come out bringing out all the arsenals that we want to use. And when we win, we say there is problem, there is problem, that is problem. If you know there is problem, why are you going there? We need to begin to look at what is even the remuneration, what is the allowances, what are the salaries of, what is the economic benefit of these political offices? Are people actually going to serve or they are going to make money? We need to discuss as Nigerians. We need to come together. It's not just the political, it's every Nigerian, even the common man on the street, who want to be paid before voting. We need a national orientation.
All right, thank you very much. On that note, we're going to call it a wrap. I want to say a big thank you to the National Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, in the person of Yusuf Dantale, who has been superb this evening, breaking it down from the global scene to the national and subnational levels, and exactly what Nigeria needs and what Nigeria's democracy needs for us to get better leaders and a better country. I want to say thank you very much for joining us in the live studio. All right, that's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program, The Desk on Global Television. My name is Anthony Momodu saying let's do this again tomorrow. Good evening.